We go. Cool.
All right, beautiful. Welcome, everybody. This is Natalie, your principal at the Australian Meditation and Holistic Counselling. Welcome to our very special masterclass today called The Clarity Catalyst Building a Business That Matters. And we've got very special guest speakers today, and we've got Jim Cox, and he is from the Clear Edge Coaching Company. So Jim is the founder of the Level Up course and the author of the number one best-selling book, Excite, Ignite. So welcome, Jim.
Welcome, Natalie. Thank you for that little introduction. It's great. I've
You're
never
welcome.
been
Thank you. Thank
introduced
you
with
for
all of those various things.
coming.
Yeah, look, and before we jump in, I'd obviously love to introduce my team. It's very
That'd be
rare. It's
awesome.
very rare, guys, that we're
Mm,
all in one place because we're all so busy.
yeah,
But our awesome partnership manager, Amy, is here as well to talk, business strategy and growing your business from a sales perspective, if that's something you need. And then Sarah is operations and marketing. So you've
awesome.
got all three of us here. But
Fantastic.
I'd love to hear, Nat. Yeah, what do your students want to know? How can we help?
So, my students are learning to become meditation teachers,
Mm,
holistic counselors, and coaches. So, the thing that I'm hearing the most from them is where do we start?
mm,
So, a lot of my students are either this is their first time doing a course of this capacity to look at moving into the industry,
yeah.
well, they're already in the industry and they're wanting to incorporate this into their work.
Okay.
So their question is, how do they move forward with that?
Okay, cool. What I might start with first to give you all a little bit of background
Perfect.
is my background is actually corporate business. So some of you, with the space that you work in, might be familiar with Lululemon, Fitness First, ESOP or ASOP, however you call it. So
Mhm.
my marketing, sales, business development life actually started in some pretty big companies, and I got very tired of making money for boards and wanted to help the little guys make an impact in the world. So I guess the conversations that we're going to have today, just so everybody knows that's watching, these are tried and tested strategies that we play with. Um, I think one of the biggest gaps that I see in startup is
Mhm.
people diving straight into how do I build my website and how do I, start posting on social media and all that sort of stuff without actually building the foundations.
Yeah.
So what I mean by those foundations is I think story is so important, like getting that brand right
Yeah.
and really understanding how website and social media fall into the ecosystem that is marketing. So
Yeah.
I think that they can't stand in isolation. And if you set yourself up with the right strategies to leverage those platforms while also doing some other stuff to gain traction, you can get the business moving quite quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, absolutely. Fantastic. Thanks for that, Jim.
all good.
So, so you said you were in the corporate grind, you
Yes.
used to work in that area. So
Yep.
when you're transitioning from that and
Mm.
wanting to build your own thriving business, what mindset shift would you need that would make the biggest difference with that?
Look, it happened to me. It's what the book's about. I think the biggest thing that I learned is successful people don't do it alone. And it's one of the
Mm,
reasons why we built Level Up. I spent
yeah,
so much money on shiny new things, and I'm sure everybody else that's listening will know this. The amount of PDFs and ebooks and mini courses and things that I, got sucked into downloading because there was a really good ad or a really good marketing message.
yeah,
Some of them I use, some of them I probably never touched. I'm sure you relate.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but I think it was a mindset shift. I think mindset is 80% business success. And the best advice, aside from the successful people do it alone, I don't do it alone. I think the other thing that people need to remember is the hardest part of starting a business is the beginning.
Yeah,
And this is why so many people give up and go back to jobs that they hate,
Yeah.
because you kind of, you've done your course, you're all excited, you're ready to go, you've got all this amazing, knowledge to share and this impact that you want to make in the world. And
Mm.
then you kind of hit a brick wall when it comes to, how do I build my business? How do I set this tech up? What's the CRM? Do I go organic marketing? Do I go paid?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing for me that I noticed, even coming from the corporate background that I had in sales and marketing, um, was as soon as I worked with someone that specialized in working with small business,
Mm.
my revenue went from kind of teetering on 10K a month to 35, 40K a month in just a couple of
Wow.
months, because of the
Fantastic.
strategies
Yeah.
and the systems and the, hey, don't focus on this, get
Mm.
this right first, all that sort of stuff really helped piece it together.
Yeah.
And we're 7 years strong now, Sarah, I want to say, almost. So,
Fantastic.
we've surpassed the 3 year business failure slump.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is just knowing that A, it's going to be easier if you've got a community around you,
Yeah.
and B, knowing that you're entering the hardest part of your business journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So that brings me to the next question.
Yeah.
What, how can, so having the right team around you is very important.
Mm.
What other tips can you give that will support someone's mindset to keep going through those initial building years? Because as you know, the effort eventually, like, because the rewards may not come in straight away, how can they keep themselves motivated to reach that 3 year mark?
Uh, as a recovering perfectionist,
Mm.
the first thing that I would say is progress, not perfection. I think the
Yes.
expectation that we have on ourselves as the business owner is always going to be 100 times higher than what people expect from us.
Yeah,
So that was a
absolutely.
really big lesson that helped me avoid burnout.
Mm.
The other thing I juggle, and then I might throw this to Sarah to kind of have a play, but the other thing that I'd probably bring up is understanding it's about building a business that fits around your life, not the other way around.
Mm.
So, and it's not about having it all at once.
Mm.
So you don't need the fancy CRM. Like Level Up started with a Excel spreadsheet, and I literally
Yeah.
just tracked all my clients on Excel.
Yeah.
Our membership platform was a Google Drive folder, and I just
Mm.
recorded sessions and PDFs and just had those in folders and shared them with people.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love the shiny new things
Yeah.
and the tech and playing with stuff. I think the other piece of the puzzle is we're entering a really exciting time for business owners,
Yeah.
where we're moving into an AI age. And everything that I'm listening to and all the podcasts that I watch and the interviews I listen to, all of these really successful CEOs and founders of companies are saying it's going to become easier and easier for people to make a bigger impact and grow
Mm.
million-dollar businesses, because you don't need a huge team.
Yeah.
You just need really effective AI.
Yeah.
And it's why, even as Level Up, we've branched into software and supporting people with systems, because you can build a seven-figure company with a
Mm.
very small team.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah, have you got anything on this? Because this is the space you've been playing with since we got moving.
Yeah. Yeah, so I love tech and I love systems. And
Mm.
so when we get our people through and they get some of their foundations right and all that mindset stuff that you're talking about, but the balancing about building business around your life is to systemize. Because
Mm.
if you've got systems in place where if somebody signs up, they automatically get their welcome email,
Mm.
even just a little thing like that, it
Yeah.
takes away that mental pressure of, oh, I've got to be on
Yes.
24/7 because
Yeah.
somebody might sign up and then I've got to nurture them, otherwise they disappear.
Yeah.
So we love that we have a system in place where um, I am very conscious of not letting people let it become a shiny thing, because it
Yeah.
can then become a distraction. So you've
Yeah.
got to have your foundations and things in place. But as part of building those foundations, there are tools and things that you can bring in that can simplify your life, can automate things, can systemize things, and that just takes that mental pressure off and it
Oh,
reduces the
absolutely.
overwhelm
Mm.
as you're building your business. And so
Yeah.
you're not having to constantly be on and thinking what do I need to be doing right this moment, you can actually, there's things that you can release from your thoughts so that you
Mm.
can focus on the things that you love doing, which is
Yeah.
actually working with the people that you want to serve.
Yeah, we had a
Absolutely.
client. It brings up a memory. We had a client a couple of years ago, Natalie, who
Yeah.
had a very successful business, was probably making about 45K a month.
Yeah.
Um, and it was in the space of nutrition and holistic wellness. Um, she spent the first 2 days of every month sending 47 invoices,
Wow.
manually creating them, emailing them to her
Oh,
clients,
wow. That's so big.
then having to chase up the payments because
Oh,
people wouldn't see the invoice or wouldn't pay it. You know what I mean? And the
yes.
great thing about Coach Kit or Zero or whatever platforms you use is you can fully automate that system. So,
Yeah.
and that the amount of time that saved her on admin was, crazy.
That'd
So,
be huge.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Great tip. Fantastic. Thank you. So as we know, the coaching counseling area is very competitive.
hmm
There's a lot of people out there branching out in the area. What can someone do to stand out and attract their ideal client to them? Because we know it can sometimes be like a black hole we're screaming into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take this one, Amy?
Um, I honestly, it's showing who you are.
Mm,
It's because there are so many people out there, but you're the only you. And so
mm,
being able to show your personality and really get clear on who your niche is. And sometimes it can take a little bit of playing with that,
mm,
and that's okay. And it's fun just to be in that moment too. But it's showing what's different about you, showing parts of your life. We
mm,
talk about documenting,
mm.
not, what was the word? Documenting, not.
Don't you
Not creating.
document, don't create.
That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So document your life. And sometimes my brain doesn't work. That's who I am, and that's what
Oh,
I
and
show.
that's
It's part of
okay.
my um yeah, but it's just like, I mean, Jim has spoken before about he's got two dogs that he absolutely loves, Lilo and Yoda, and he
Yeah.
did a post with his book and that got the most engagement
Yeah.
because of the people that love dogs
Yes.
really engage with that. And I've had the same with my cat Bella. So it's yeah, just documenting your life, showing that to your people and just showing what you do. I feel like on a genuine level too. And that'll
Yeah.
speak to who they want to bring in.
I think
Yeah.
when we talk to new clients, and Amy, you said this to me, like the amount of times that we've spoken to new clients and they bring up my dogs or my renovations or my
Mm,
veggie garden
Your
or,
garden.
something like that,
The
because
bees.
the bees,
Bees.
because that's what they connect with. And,
mm.
you look at that conversation around why as a civilization are we so obsessed with reality TV? I think that's
Yeah.
the thing is people don't want to see perfection. They want to see connection.
Yeah.
And they want to go, hey, look, this person will get me, or I trust this person because they're not just talking about their business, but they're talking
Exactly.
about who they are and what they believe in and what their values are as a person.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that'd be the first place to start for
Yeah.
sure.
Beautiful. Perfect. Um, so what is one quick win that everyone could implement today, do you think, Jim, and your
It's going
team?
to sound really simple,
Mm,
um, but we've worked with. I think we've had over 2,000 odd clients now in the
mm,
business over the 7 years.
mm.
Um, and I would say the biggest thing is start talking to people and telling them about what you do.
Yeah.
I think
Not being shy.
we spend so much time hiding behind, you know, building the website or playing with tech or,
Mm,
how do I craft the perfect quote on Canva or whatever it is,
yeah.
when really successful businesses are built with connection. So instead of
Mm.
thinking, what do I post this week, I would be asking who has my audience. If you are building a local studio, who can you connect with? Who can you reach out to in the community? How can you start to build that PR? Is there a podcast you follow that you can reach out to and go, hey, look, I'd love to be interviewed by you?
Mm,
It really starts to build that brand so that you can build your social media platform.
Hmm.
telling people to like and follow for info and, hey, here's my Instagram handle. And you can
Yeah.
start to play with all of that stuff, and it helps you build that network so much faster
Yeah.
to just, create that impact together.
Mm. I think just not being shy as well,
Yeah.
telling people what you're doing,
Yeah,
being
correct. And
proud.
yeah, and I
Mm.
think that's why, we've partnered together, Natalie, and we want
Yeah.
to, give fast track to clients to people, because I
Perfect.
think that's the thing is when you've got people in your corner
Mm.
that cannot just teach you how to do it effectively, but can also be that accountability partner,
Absolutely.
that's where when you scale faster.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I do it too. Like, I have those days, the joys of being neurodiverse, and the
Yes.
ADHD, the stuff that I get to play with in my brain.
Yeah.
I have those days too where I just want to blow everything up.
Yes.
And having Sarah and Amy and Nat, who's one of the coaches on our team,
Mm.
it's kind of almost like they know me better than myself, to turn around and go, "Hey, what's going on? How are you feeling today?
So
What's happening?"
sorry. So
So,
sorry, my dog.
all good, all good. So that's the thing that I think is biggest, is having that community around you to make it work.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Perfect. Thank you. Um, let me have a look. So if someone is, oh, I might have to move. If someone is starting out in business and feeling overwhelmed, where should they focus first? Or have I asked this question?
No, that's all right.
No.
We can play with the overwhelm. Um,
Yep.
I would look. I would say just start. It's if the overwhelm is really getting you down, who
Mm.
can you talk to? Who can you reach out to get that support?
Yeah.
For everybody on this call, you're going to have Amy to hang out with, to
Yep.
get things moving.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that I would say is that just because you're the business owner doesn't mean you can't ask for help. So,
Exactly.
the amount of times, when we first got started and we didn't have the systems and the methods in place to connect with people and just check in, the amount of people that would reach out to me, they'd sign up to our program, and we were here to coach and support and give tools and talk strategies. And 4 months would go by and we wouldn't hear from them, and then they'd reach out and they'd go, "Oh, hey, I've been really stuck and I just didn't want to let you down," and ask for support. It's like, well,
Mm.
that's what you're paying us for.
That's what we're here for.
And whether it's
I know.
ego or whether it's doubt or whether it's fear of, crap, I've gotten my thing into this, I'm becoming an entrepreneur, or
Mm.
whatever it is. I think the best thing that you can ever do is ask for help. And the people that we succeed, the people that we see succeed, the
Mm.
people that we see grow, 30, 40K a month businesses,
Mm.
um, the people that have made 12K in 2 weeks with us,
Yeah.
are the ones that bug us like crazy. They
Yeah.
jump on calls, they ask questions, when
Mm.
they've got a problem, they deal with it then and there. They don't sit on it. They just, they get what they need to move forward faster.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think sometimes, I just wanted to add to this. I
Yeah.
think sometimes when we're starting something new, we forget that it's okay to be a bit wobbly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we feel like when we're putting ourselves out there, we need to show that we're absolutely perfect. And that's where the progress, not perfection, comes in.
Yeah.
But those conversations that you have at the start are going to feel a bit wobbly, because
Yeah.
you're changing your self-view as an I am. I am now an entrepreneur. I'm starting this new thing. And
Mm.
that's going to feel wobbly.
Mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, just reaching out to us and going, "Hey, I'm feeling wobbly," and I can guarantee you other people in the community are feeling that way too. And it's nice to know you're not alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think, Natalie, like exactly what you mentioned before, for a lot of your students, they might be moving from full-time work to
Mm.
running their own thing. And we
Yeah.
don't realize the mindset shift and the patterns that we've got to adjust when we do that, when we go from,
Absolutely.
being managed to being our own manager.
Yeah.
So there's, it really is acknowledging, hey, look, I am going to be leveling up and becoming a different person. Like, this is my time to shine and my time to grow, as
Yeah.
much as it is supporting my clients to do the same.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. The your own personal growth
yeah,
during the experience is immense.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. All right. So, Jim, is there anything else you would like to share with us today?
Look, I think we've covered a lot.
Yes.
I had some slides and everything that I was going to jump into, but we've actually spoken about asking for help and embracing the fear.
Mm,
I think one of the biggest things that I think for people that are graduating with you and taking this next step in their journey, it's really knowing that you are more likely to succeed if you've got a community around you,
yeah.
and also I think acknowledging that you're entering this really awesome time in your life where you kind of get to create the business however you want.
Yeah.
And that can be a little bit scary for people, but take it one project at a time. Don't
Mm,
think about, what are the next 10 years of this going to look like, but what can I do in the next 3 months? Like, am I running, a meditation workshop, or, is there going to be like an entry level preview program that I'm going to
mm,
launch as a counselor, or, whatever it could be. But what's that sort of 90-day goal that you can start to play with? I think
mm,
working, we call it a 90-day sprint. And I think working to
Mm.
that sort of 90 days is great, because if you screw it up, you screw it up, and it's
yeah.
only 90 days. So you can
Yes.
just come up with the next thing.
Yeah.
And I really believe that if you're not failing, you're not getting anywhere. Like, business is failure, lots of failure.
Absolutely. No
And
such thing as failure, just business to
I
learn.
embrace it. If
Yes.
failing forward is
Yeah.
my belief for sure. So, um, studies show that you're 4 times more likely to succeed with a mini project. So, they have proven that. 65% more likely to succeed at a goal if you commit to it publicly. So, for
Mhm.
those of you that are watching this, if you're thinking about running a workshop or wanting to launch an event, post it online. And then it's not
Absolutely.
just in here. Like, you've got to hold yourself accountable because you've announced it.
Yeah.
There's so many little tricks and hacks that we share to get people moving. So I'm excited to support your crew in the fast track program.
Oh, me too. Me
Yeah,
too. And I know they'll be very excited about it as well.
awesome.
Great.
Yep. Fantastic. Um, all right. Well, we might leave that there then today.
Yeah, for
Thank you
sure.
so much.
All good. So next
It's been
steps from here.
amazing.
Do you want
Yeah,
me to take them through the next steps and
absolutely.
how
That'd
to
be
get moving?
fantastic.
Cool. So, yeah, so for those watching, thank you for sticking around. I like to keep these things short and sweet, and it's been great to answer some questions for you. But
Yeah.
what we want to really do next is give you the systems and the strategy and the support to take this certificate that you've earned with the Australian Meditation and Holistic Counselling College, and turn it into something really exciting. We've got Fast Track to Clients is our 6-week course where we don't only take you through, pretty much everything that we've discussed, branding to marketing strategy to sales. What do you do when you have an objection in front of you? How do you create great programs that people want to sign up to? We've packed all of this amazing stuff into the lessons, but what we also do is give you 6 weeks of mentoring live. So,
Fantastic.
being able to jump on a call just like this, ask all the questions that you need, get all the support that you want to take that next step in your business.
Mm.
We want to offer that to you. So, I believe this is going out in an email. We might also get it on a website or something later on. Who knows? There will be a link somewhere around this video that you can click.
Yeah.
Get your registration form filled out. You'll hear from one of the team to help you get rolling and let you know when the coaching calls are on, and when you can jump on for support. And yeah, look, we're in this business to help people make a bigger impact. So excited to see what happens next.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you
Awesome.
very much for that generous offer,
No worries. Awesome. We'll see you guys
guys.
soon.
Yep. See you soon. Lovely to meet you all. Lovely chatting. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Natalie.
Yeah.
Bye.